What's going on, goats? Let's go ahead and break down my losing trade on ES during London today. So let's zoom out to the higher time frame to show my higher time frame bias. To be quite honest with you, I think I was a little bit sloppy in terms of my higher time frame bias because I was simply looking for shorting opportunities as price gave a huge bullish rally yesterday. So simply looking for a retracement of some sort. And as we can see towards the end of New York, we did get a big impulsive move down. But I do think that this is kind of sloppy because based off of structure, this technically can't even be a break of structure as price did not make a new high. So honestly, to be real with you guys, I noticed that yes, price did not make this new high, but I was willing to look at this as some form of change of character, showing that price wanted to go lower. Not sure why I drew it out that far. But this little chain of character, we had a big impulse and move. I figured banks are present in this area, and then this was going to be some form of a retracement on higher. I was also really liking the way price was pushing on higher. Why? Because we are forming a very nice channel to the upside, and usually if we have a channel going upwards, usually there's going to be a nice move to the downside. So seeing that price gave that push up, and then we had a very nice impulsive move down here, breaking underneath this internal low. And then we also see that price took out Asia's high. So seeing that price took out a notorious area of liquidity before price reverses, and then having this big impulsive move, I was willing to look for shorting opportunities. Going down to the 5 minute time frame, we see that little 5 minute break of structure, lower low, lower high, lower low. So even going down to the 1 minute time frame, I believe this was the exact same structure as this was the 1 minute high slash 5 minute high down to this 1 minute low slash 1 minute low. So I was working with this range at the time, and I had plotted this area as the extreme order block just like that. And if you notice, this is the last buy to sell move. I believe it's a nice 2 minute order block, maybe even a 3 minute. Not that clean. How about the 5 minute? 5 minute kind of works as well as it includes that entire thing. Let's try the 6 minute. Nope. Seven. 7 minute, kind of, sort of. Either way, I just marked up the last buy to sell move. I marked up the entire buy to sell move right there. As we can see, price came up into premium and we actually broke above this wick. So I was actually looking at this as a buy side liquidity sweep, tapping into the extreme before going on lower. And simply here, I was a bit more aggressive. And if you notice with a 4 contract size, it really wasn't that much risk, as 1% would really be 1,000. In this case, I believe it was about $400. I think that's what it was. Um, what I should have done is this. I should have taken my short opportunity somewhere over here with a stop loss above this order block here, as this is the 1 minute high, meaning price should not break above this 1 minute high. If price were to break above this high, which is where I put my stop loss, it does not invalidate my overall bias. But in this case, I was being a bit more greedy, if you will. I was also really trusting that this was the inducement and price doesn't have a need to go on higher, meaning price doesn't have the need to take out more buy side liquidity, if that makes sense. I'll try to repeat that if that did not make sense. What I'm trying to say here is price takes out buy side liquidity. I didn't think price needed more buy side liquidity before pushing on lower. But obviously, as you can see here, price wanted more buy side liquidity, even taking out this high here before pushing on lower. So at the time being, I simply trusted that this high was not going to get broken. I had entered somewhere over here. Our entry was 590650. 590650. Let's see if we can plot it exactly. 0650, somewhere here. So I basically entered off of this pullback stop loss above here, and then we have a 2 point stop loss, which makes sense, about $400. So I was risking a little bit less than half a percent. And then from here, we can shoot for new lows, as we see here. And another good entry, sorry, not entry point, another good exit or TP target would be Asia's low here. So this is my overall setup. I was looking for that to play out. If you notice, price began to make lower lows and lower highs, but eventually it came up higher, taking out more buy sell liquidity, taking out my stop loss as well before pushing on lower. So that was basically, and actually before I continue, as price was printing lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs like this, I did minimize my risk a tad bit. I believe I moved it a couple ticks somewhere like this. I mean, it does tell you 5907.75, which is exactly right there. So I did try to minimize my risk a tad bit by moving my stop loss down, but either way, price still stopped me out before pushing a lower. So looking back at it, the analysis wasn't terribly wrong. The ultimate thing I should have done is I should have had my stop loss above the M1 high as I usually try to preach. In this case, I did get a little greedy trying to play with internal structure and got stopped out in this case. So here is just an open and honest review showing you exactly how I lost this trade. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please let me know. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.